Welcome to Live Interactive English. My name is Winnie.
And I'm Matt. And today we're looking at part 2 of Cambridge, a City of Scholars.
Yes, I'm very excited because we learned a little bit about Cambridge last time, where we know it's a very, very old school. And also it is, it is a city and it's actually quite small. It has only about 150,000 people.
That's right. And since it is such an old school, did you know that Cambridge is also said to be the birthplace of football, or soccer as it's also called?
Oh, wait, football or soccer? So there's two names, right?
Yeah, well, it's most people in England and the UK would call it football, but in North America, most people call it soccer. And that generally because football is just one kind of sport called football, because there are actually many sports called football. And in North America, there's North American football, Canadian football, and American football with the olive-shaped ball. And so that's called football. And then we call the other one soccer because it's association football, and that's shortened to the word soccer.
Ah, interesting. Okay, so we know that, American English and British English, we know there's a lot of different ways to say the same thing. Like, for example, they say jumper, whereas we would say sweater. Or, for example, I would like to take the elevator, whereas they would say the lift.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, and then there's a couple other ones. What is there? There's the...
Well, for example, we would say truck. They would say lorry.
A lorry, that's right. And one that I don't think I've actually heard many people use, but kind of a stereotypical one, instead of toilet, you can say the loo.
Ah.
That's kind of an old-fashioned word that actually not many people use anymore.
Yeah. Well, I'm interested in learning more about Cambridge and the history of Cambridge in this final part that we're doing.
All right, so let's get into it. We'll see you with part 2 when we come back after this.
King's isn't the only college worth a visit, though. A short walk away is Gonville and Caius College, where guests can see the former office of the world-famous physicist Dr. Stephen Hawking. Further along are Trinity College, the largest in the university, and St. John's College, home to the splendid Bridge of Sighs. Although students are busy revising for exams in May, in June, St. John's comes alive for an end-of-year ball, often described as the 7th best party in the world.
Hello everyone, today we are looking at part 2 of our article called Cambridge, a City of Scholars.
Yes, so continuing on with the article. King's isn't the only college worth a visit, though. A short walk away is Gonville and Caius College, where guests can see the former office of the world-famous physicist, Dr. Stephen Hawking.
Wow, okay, I think many people have heard of Dr. Stephen Hawking because he has many, theories about the universe and how big the universe is and how infinite it is, I guess.
Exactly. And so what exactly is a physicist? So a physicist is a noun, and it's an expert on the studies of physics, aka or also known as the study of motion or energy. So, for example, as a physicist, I am more interested in studying space than playing sports.
Okay, well, yeah, I guess I don't think Stephen Hawking was much for sports.
No.
Continuing on, further along are Trinity College, the largest in the university, and St. John's College, home to the splendid Bridge of Sighs.
Bridge of Sighs?
So I've heard of a more famous Bridge of Sighs in Venice, where it was known for transporting prisoners from one place to another, and so they would sigh as they walked across this bridge.
Interesting.
So I don't know what gave this Bridge of Sighs its name, but it is splendid. So splendid meaning very impressive or amazing, and usually impressive because of its beauty. So something that's very nice to look at and makes you go, wow, that's amazing, or that's splendid. So for example, the king built himself a splendid palace, though he rarely spent time in it.
Okay, yeah, so when something is splendid, you just think, wow, that's great. It's amazing. So, continuing on, although students are busy revising for exams in May, in June, St. John's comes alive for an end-of-year ball, often described as the 7th best party in the world.
Okay, so they're having a ball. So a ball is like usually a kind of dance, someplace where a party where you'll dance, but you'll also be required to dress up very nicely. Usually men will be wearing tuxedos and women will have gowns.
Yes.
So very elaborate dresses.
Right. In this case, ball isn't, something that you throw into a net. It's very fancy. And sometimes you'll have a masquerade ball where you put on masks. Very fancy.
This is the 7th best party in the world. I'm curious what the other top 6 are as well. So to revise, so they are revising for their exams. Revising means the same as to review or to look at again. So when these students are revising for their exams, it means that they are studying for these exams. They're trying to, learn everything they can before going to their exams. So for example, I can't wait until my exams are over so I can stop revising.
Well, it's no wonder that they study so hard in May because in June, then they can finally relax with this great ball.
Yeah, it's nice that they have something at the end of the year to look forward to. Because I remember, when I was in university, when you're in the middle of preparing for your exams and I think you just want to get through it. But I never had any ball or any celebration because I remember when I was in school, different classes had their final exams at different times. So it wasn't like everyone finished at the same time. So it was sort of like students would just disappear. I mean, it'd just be the end of the year and people would go home to where their hometown is and they'd just slowly be less and less people around. There was no big cool party or ball to look forward to.
I guess for us, our reward was just going home.
Okay, yeah.
No more school for a few weeks. Yeah, but I'm excited to learn more about Cambridge after the break.
Hello， 大家好，我是 Hanny。我们在第一天的课文有介绍剑桥大学国王学院礼拜堂，它是城里最著名的建筑。不过国王学院并不是唯一值得造访的学院。课文接着就介绍了冈维尔与凯斯学院，游客可以在这边看到世界著名的这个物理学家史蒂芬霍金博士他以前的办公室。那至于圣约翰学院，它是壮丽的叹息桥的所在地。虽然5月的时候，学生们正忙着复习准备考试，不过呢，在6月有学年末的舞会，圣约翰学院这时候呢就会变得热闹起来。而这个舞会又常被称为世界上第7个最好的派对哦。我们来补充一下文中的 end of year ball， 它表示学年末的舞会。那么 ball 在这边不是球，它是指正式的大型舞会。Winnie 老师这时候有提到 masquerade ball， 那表示化妆舞会。好，再来看单字 physicist， 它表示物理学家。Matt 老师提到，物理学家史蒂芬霍金有许多的理论是在探索宇宙，在探索它无穷的奥秘。那老师用到 infinite 这个形容词 ，infinite，infinite 是形容无穷的、无限的。下一个单字 splendid， 它是形容词，形容壮丽的、极好的、出色的。那么 revise 在这边是英式用法，用来表达考试前的复习温习。我们美语则会用 review。好，那这边一个重点，我们进入文法时间。好，这边我们来学习 worth 的用法。第一种呢，可以表达值得什么的、值得做什么的，用法是 be worth 加上名词或动名词。例如 The night market is worth checking out。那个夜市值得去看看。第二个用法可以表达价值多少多少，那么用法就是 be worth 加上金额。例如 The painting is now worth $5 million。那幅画现在价值500万美元。好，接话课文中。
Instead of exploring these colleges on foot, how about seeing them by boat? Punts, narrow boats pushed with long poles, are the traditional method of traveling along the River Cam and the best way to see the backs, an area where several colleges back onto the water. However, if you're tired of sightseeing, have a pot of English breakfast tea and a Chelsea bun at Fitzbilly's, a popular cafe that takes its name from the nearby Fitzwilliam Museum. Or, if you're after something more savory, try a hearty steak pie at the Alma. Regardless of how you choose to spend your time in Cambridge, be sure to make the most of it. After all, you'll be walking in the footsteps of some of history's greatest minds and most significant people.
Welcome back from the break. So how about a recap, Matt?
All right, so before the break, we learned about some more of the colleges at Cambridge University. So we learned about Gonville and Caius College, which is where famous physicist Stephen Hawking once studied. We also learned about Trinity College, where you can see the splendid and beautiful Bridge of Sighs. And lastly, we talked about St. John's College, which is known for having its year-end ball, which is considered to be the 7th best party in the world.
Yeah, not the 8th, the 7th.
Right.
I'm personally, I would love to attend this ball. But continuing on, instead of exploring these colleges on foot, how about seeing them by boat? Punts, narrow boats pushed with long poles, are the traditional method of traveling along the River Cam and the best way to see the backs, an area where several colleges back onto the water.
Oh, very interesting. So this also sounds very much like in Italy, the gondola boats where you push them along with sticks. So it's another kind of way to sightsee.
Right.
So these are pushed along with poles. And I just said push along with sticks because a stick and a pole are relatively similar. A pole is a long and slender piece of wood or metal. So you might think of a pole that a fireman slides down at the fire station to get down from the second floor quickly.
Have you ever done that?
Only on playgrounds where they have a pole where you can slide down it.
Yeah, I heard that firehouses don't let people do that anymore because it's actually a lot of potential injuries happen.
I guess you could fall and hurt yourself.
Yeah.
All right, so another example for pole, the wooden pole marked the entrance to the old hiking trail. However, if you're tired of sightseeing, have a pot of English breakfast tea and a Chelsea bun at Fitzbilly's, a popular cafe that takes its name from the nearby Fitzwilliam Museum.
Are you a tea drinker, Matt?
No, I am not really a tea drinker. I drink coffee every morning.
Oh, okay. I'm a big tea person, and especially English breakfast tea is one of my favorites. So that is definitely a stop I will be making. So there was the word sightseeing, which is a noun, and it just means to visit famous places or to tour landmarks and sites. Yeah, so for example, Cameron had a whole week of sightseeing in Los Angeles. So I personally really enjoy sightseeing. What about you?
Yeah, I mean, I enjoy traveling, and I enjoy traveling for the purpose of going to places and sightseeing.
Exactly. So continuing on, or if you're after something more savory, try a hearty steak pie at the Alma.
Ooh, that sounds like something I'd be more interested in than the breakfast tea. Steak pie.
Right, exactly. And so when something is savory, it just means something very salty.
Something not sweet. It's not a dessert. It's not your typical kind of pie that you might think of because this is a meat pie.
Yeah, so when you think of pie, you're thinking cherry pie, something sweet like a dessert. But in this case, the Alma has a great steak pie.
Regardless of how you choose to spend your time in Cambridge, be sure to make the most of it. After all, you'll be walking in the footsteps of some of history's greatest minds and most significant people.
Wow. So, would you like to study at the University of Cambridge? Why or why not?
Well, I, right now, would not like to study again because I've done my university years and I've finished my studies. But maybe if I go back to when I was choosing my university, maybe I would have liked to study at the University of Cambridge because you'd be surrounded by many people who will go on to do great things, and maybe you can be inspired to do great things yourself because of some of the famous people that have studied there before you.
Right, your best friend could have been Stephen Hawking for all we know.
Right.
Right. For me, I personally, even if it was back then when I went to university, / if I were to have the choice now, I probably wouldn't, because I think it's great that there's a lot of history and awesome, historical figures that came out of Cambridge. But I personally would just feel very pressured, and I would feel the need to really try to live up to everyone and compare myself to everyone, which would give me a lot of stress. And I'm not the most studious or scholarly person, but I would definitely love to go and visit Cambridge.
Yeah, well, I think we've learned a lot of good reasons why you might want to go and visit, and just to go, sightseeing and to look around. And I think that's something I might want to plan in the future myself, and maybe you will too.
Maybe I'll see you on a punt very soon.
All right, I hope so.
And that's all we have for today. See you on the next one.
课文接着建议我们可以乘船欣赏那些学院，乘坐方头平底船，它是沿着这个康河旅行的传统方式。那这是以长篙来推进的载船。文中的 punt P-U-N-T 它是表达说用篙来撑着前行的那种方头平底船。好，那如果你厌倦的观光，课文有介绍一间人气咖啡简餐店 Fitzbillies， 在那边你可以享用到一壶英式早餐茶，还有切尔西面包。那这个名字它是取自于附近的菲兹威廉博物馆。如果你想吃比较咸的东西，还可以到 The Alma 来品尝丰盛的牛排馅饼。那不管怎么样，一定要好好充分利用这段时间哦，毕竟你正走在一些历史重要人物曾经走过的路上。好，那么单字 pole 是名词，表示干或者是赶或是住的意思。那么 sightseeing 它表示观光游览。老师们在回答 What do you think question 的时候 ，Winnie 老师他提到他不是个勤奋用功的学生，就算人生重来，他也不会想去念剑桥大学。那老师用到2个形容词，一个是 studious S-T-U-D-I-O-U-S， 那它是形容用功的。scholarly 在 scholar 后面加上 ly 变成这个形容词，表示有学问的、博学的或者是学术性的。好，这边一个重点，我们进入文法时间。这边我们来学习 be sure to 加上原形动词的用法。那第一种呢，可以用来表达一定要怎么样，务必怎么样。那可以用在祈使句，用来提醒对方不要忘记做某事。例如 be sure to wash your hands before you eat， 吃东西之前一定要先洗手。那第二个意思可以表达某事肯定会发生，某人绝对会做某事。像 The movie is sure to make you laugh， 那部电影一定会让你笑出来的。好，那以上今天的讲解，同学别走开，马上回来哦。
King's isn't the only college worth a visit, though. A short walk away is Gonville and Keyes College, where guests can see the former office of the world-famous physicist Dr. Stephen Hawking. Further along are Trinity College, the largest in the university, and St. John's College, home to the splendid Bridge of Sighs. Although students are busy revising for exams in May, in June, St. John's comes alive for an end-of-year ball, often described as the 7th best party in the world. Instead of exploring these colleges on foot, how about seeing them by boat? Punts, narrow boats pushed with long poles, are the traditional method of traveling along the River Cam and the best way to see the backs, an area where several colleges back onto the water. However, if you're tired of sightseeing, have a pot of English breakfast tea and a Chelsea bun at Fitzbillies, a popular cafe that takes its name from the nearby Fitzwilliam Museum. Or, if you're after something more savory, try a hearty steak pie at the Alma. Regardless of how you choose to spend your time in Cambridge, be sure to make the most of it. After all, you'll be walking in the footsteps of some of history's greatest minds and most significant people.
Here's how to play. The host will be holding 3 cards. Each card will have 2 sentences containing a secret vocabulary word or phrase that has been replaced by the word bear. The host will read the sentences out loud for the contestants to guess. Whoever guesses first gets a point. The person with the most points wins. And you can play along too.
Let's play Guess the Bear. I'm your host, Winnie.
I'm Toi.
I'm Carolyn.
Okay, you guys ready? Yeah.
I hope so.
Okay, now let us begin. Our first word is a verb. Ron bared the invitation and joined the club. The truth about the tragedy is hard to bear.
Accept.
Ooh, I think Toi got that one. So Ron accepted the invitation and joined the club. The truth about the tragedy is hard to accept. That one's hard. That one was tricky. Okay, next one. It is an adjective, one word. If you get a cookie, then I should too. It's only bear. The judge is known to be fair and just.
Fair.
Good job, Carolyn. Okay, 1-1. The competition's getting close.
What were the sentences?
The sentences were, if you get a cookie, then I should too. It's only fair. The judge is known to be fair and just.
Okay.
Good. Nice. Okay, so last one. Phrase, 2 words. I need to bear what I'm wearing to the party. It's been 3 weeks and we still haven't bear the problem.
Change into? No. Figure out?
Ding, ding, ding. I need to figure out what I'm wearing to the party. It's been 3 weeks and we still haven't figured out the problem. That was good job, Carolyn. That one was a hard one. And the first one with the bear, because that sounds, the second sentence, the truth about the tragedy is hard to bear, sounds like an actual sentence.
Yeah. Let's do it.
But we have a winner. Ding, ding, ding. Good job, Toi, though. Good
Thank
job,
you.
Carolyn.